Welcome to another episode of WGRC's Around the Valley with Dave and Wanda. And we are here at Heimbach's General Store, or Country Store. Country Store in Selinsgrove, which is also the headquarters for Blane Heimbach and his racing crew. Now, you know Blane from like way back.
Actually, it's been 26 years ago. I met him.
Wow.
And I worked here at the Country Store for not quite a year. And he was still in high school. I was just out of high school a couple years. And I haven't seen him in 26 years. So
that's going to change here in a moment.
It's going to change in a moment. So I'm looking forward to reconnecting with him.
Well, we're going to find out a little bit more about sprint car racing. I actually have never been to a sprint car race. So we're going to go in. I'm going to meet Blane for the first time. You're going to reconnect with him again.
Yep.
And we're going to find out what happens behind the scenes of a race. Are you ready to race on inside?
Yeah, let's go. All right. Let's do it.
WGRC's Around the Valley is sponsored by Zook Septic Services, serving central Pennsylvania. Contact them for inspections, repairs, and system maintenance needs at 570-837-1466 or at zookseptic.com. Blane, how are you?
What's going on?
Dave Jones.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, good to see you again. Of course. And I've known Blane, I mean, we haven't connected for almost 30 years, which is insane.
Yeah.
So I've never seen this. I've never seen the shop here. So I'm excited about this. This is great.
No, because you've never made it this far back because you can't get past the Heimbach's Country Store, right?
Yeah, you're right. The custards call my name every single time. Yeah, it's hard.
So I understand. A few weeks ago or so, Wanda saw you at the track. Did you let her drive at all?
Oh no, I'm afraid she would embarrass me.
Oh, she would, but maybe not because of driving ability.
Shoot.
So we're gonna actually show some footage of that day.
Yeah.
Here.
Yep, I got some footage of him on the track.
But now we got some behind the scenes look here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your racing past? How did you get into it, and how did it get to be this expansive?
Probably the very beginning, very beginning was I work on a farm. I have my whole life, and my cousins and I grew up kind of the same age, and we would always get into about the same stuff or trouble, whatever you want to call it. And I can remember sometime around like 94, we had a barn fire, and shortly after that, my uncle started building a go-kart for my two cousins, and just kind of slowly through all that happening, we started kind of piecing together go-karts and learning how to weld and do different stuff. And we used it. The first one I think had an old bale thrower motor on it, and so we built go-karts, and slowly we kind of got go-karts that ran faster and faster and faster, and then eventually we ended up building a track. And
you guys built the track?
Yeah, we built a track.
Wow.
And then a few years after that, it was like, well, it was too dusty to run during the day, so we put light poles in and we put lights in.
Oh my gosh.
We were just kids, so we loved it, and we worked at it, and of course we did all our own track maintenance, and took half the day to water the track and get it running, and then we'd ride for 10 minutes and they'd be broke, and then we'd have to fix for an hour. But so that's kind of how it started there.
Is the track still in existence? That small one?
Nope,
okay.
It actually, it isn't anymore. But that track is actually, that's how it started, but that's how it really started, because that track actually grew, that it was big enough that sometime around 96, 97, Greenwood Valley Action Track, which is in Jerseytown, they always have a test, they call it a bug day. And it rained out, which is ironic because they never rain out ever up there. And some of my uncle's friends, actually, you probably heard of Steve Lenig from Nye's Body Shop. So it was Steve Lenig and Troy Weitzel and Mike Spots asked if they could bring their cars to our track to just kind of test and make sure, you know, that they'd start, not necessarily to test and race, but to make sure the cars started and this and that. So they came to our track, and I was just blown away because I'd never really seen a micro like up close.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was done.
Like love at first sight.
I loved it. And
Pulled you all the way in.
yeah, it did. And I just started, I got to meet, like I said, Troy Weitzel, who drove for Claire Ritter at the time, Sunny Hill Tree Farm. He lives right up the road up here. And I learned of them and where their shop was, and I got talking to Troy, and he kind of asked me if I wanted to, come around and help. So I rode my bike over there after school, and I started with washing the car and washing the trailer and all that stuff, because I didn't know anything about those cars at the time, how to build them, so I was just there to learn and do what I could.
What I noticed in his story was when he was younger, he's getting in trouble and stuff. And that was during the time you were around. And then you're not around for about 30 years.
And things calmed down.
And look what happened. He became a successful racer.
I kind of doubt that I had any influence on that. So how old were you when you first drove a sprint car?
So a sprint car, I think I was 20. Somewhere in there.
Okay.
And I started racing micros end of 97. So, which blows my mind because I can't believe that I've been doing it that long already.
Yeah.
But it's certainly, it is true when they say time flies.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where it went. So the first time I ran a micro, I think not the worst, but the biggest surprise was like, okay, well, I'm in this thing and I can't move. You know what I mean? Like I never wore a neck brace. Any of that stuff. Like it was all new.
Yeah.
Like I was just in it, and I was like, okay, well, I'm kind of wearing this thing. Like I can't take it off, and I can't. So whatever happens, I'm along for the ride.
Yeah.
So it was different that way, and the biggest difference between the micro and a sprint car was in a micro you're laying like your legs go straight out, and in a sprint car you're sitting more like a bench.
Okay.
Like you're sitting on a couch.
Gotcha.
So it's very different because in a micro, your center of gravity is really low, and you feel low. And the first time in a sprint car, you're up, and you definitely know you're up because it's a little more nerve wracking. But there's nothing like it. I think that's probably why any driver that has done this or does do this will tell you. It is literally like. It's the best and the worst thing all in one because there's not a feeling that I know of that's better than driving a 410 sprint car. Like the power to weight ratio is ridiculous. They're like 1,400 pounds. They have 900 and some horsepower.
Wow.
For your normal passenger car is probably 4,000 pounds. Just imagine having 3,000 horsepower driving down the road with your passenger car. Like it's just, they're insane.
I have to tell you, so before the Port Royal race, I had never really been to a sprint car race.
Yeah.
I've never been to a sprint car race.
Yeah, he's never been.
Yeah.
So that morning we were talking on air about it, and I made the comment, I said, I don't know, and this is before I contacted you, and I said, I don't know why I want to pay to go sit in a dust cloud. Like, I don't understand that.
Right.
And we had listeners texting in, like, oh my word, it's awesome, it's amazing, whatever, which kind of prompted me, okay, I need to see what this is about.
Sure.
It is so much fun, and I had no idea how fast you guys were.
Yeah.
The skill that it's got to take to keep those cars. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
It's insane, and
Yeah.
I have so much more respect. My husband and boys are into it big time. They love it.
Yeah.
And I just never, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And so it is something that I encourage. You need to go to the track and check it out.
I should.
You absolutely should.
I've been to a NASCAR race one time.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Here's why I don't like NASCAR. Okay, so you're watching the race, it's like, and then you're waiting for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple minutes, even depending on the track. And with sprint cars, it is, you see the whole track. It's all happening at one time, and you're afraid to look here because you don't want to miss
it. Yeah.
What's going on. It is really it's high adrenaline, even for the people sitting in the stands because you're right there.
Yeah. This car, kind of one that we've tried some different things on it. We ran it at Selinsgrove the last time that we raced it, and it hadn't really worked out for us yet. So we're kind of putting that to the drawing board at this point.
Okay.
Which I won't explain all the differences to you because it's a long story. But this is the car that we've been running. So this one's pretty much together, which I figured would make it a whole lot easier to explain. So a sprint car is very simple and very complex all at the same time. I'm sure you've heard of the Model T Ford, okay? So the Model T Ford, which is the first car that was probably ever made, had a torsion bar suspension, which is predominantly what a sprint car is. Torsion bars go in, it's basically the spring on a sprint car.
Okay.
So instead of compressing like a normal spring, they twist.
Gotcha.
So the spring for this car is actually right back here.
Okay.
There's two of them. This is for the left rear and this is for the right rear. And the way that they control how the car moves is they twist. So the thickness of that bar determines how easy or how hard it twists.
Gotcha.
I'm going to say 95% of all sprint cars are a torsion bar suspension.
Okay.
They've been that way forever. There's a couple guys that try to run coil-over springs, which is kind of like what is on your car, your vehicle that you drive. I feel that it's probably more successful in a sprint car because of running on dirt. So in dirt, we have ruts and holes and things that want to upset the car, and a torsion bar, in my opinion, for the most part, does a much better job of absorbing those things with a wing on. So, and I've run coilovers before, and it's more of a bouncy, unsettled feeling. So I think that's why sprint cars predominantly run torsion bars instead of coilover springs. So we run 4 shocks. You're only allowed to run 4. A guy tried to run 2 shocks on the left rear, and they outlawed that a few years ago.
Why? What's the
basically
why?
Just I can't answer why, other than they try to limit things to get, in my opinion, I think, to try to keep them from getting out of control.
Okay.
For just being too elaborate. Shocks have come a long way since I started. Like these shocks here. They have 2 buttons on them. You can adjust the compression and the rebound just by clicking this knob.
Gotcha.
So you can make that shock go in faster or slower, and you can make it come out faster or slower. That's what you call a double adjustable shock.
How much freedom do you have? Like they tell you, you have to have this component, but you can choose the type of it, or
Yeah, so like in the shocks, you can pretty much run. It's not limited to any shock per se, other than you can only have 1 shock per corner. But you can do. There's some really expensive shocks out there that do some pretty wild stuff. But a lot of times, some of your basic stuff works the best. But it's shocks are a big thing, but it's only one component on the car. Everything has to work together. I call it. Your car has to be balanced. Sometimes you don't have to have the best motor, the best cars, you have to have a good balance. If you have a good balance, you're going to show up and you're going to be a lot more competitive than if you show up and you're just really off. You can have the best motor in the world. If you have junk tires, it don't matter. You ain't going to go fast.
what's the reason for the right rear being the worst?
The right rears are bigger than the left rears, which I'm sure you've noticed. Like we always run a bigger right rear or a bigger tire on the right rear than the left rear, and that's what you call tire stagger. So we run a smaller tire on the left rear so that it helps the car get into the corner. So if the car, throughout the night, if we want the car to turn into the corner better, we would put a smaller left rear on.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
If we want to go down the straightaway better, like if we have too small of a tire on, you're going to be too left down the straightaway, so we would want to put a bigger tire on the left rear.
You know, it's been, like I said, about 26 years since I've seen you, which is crazy. And to see, I mean, you were in high school then, and to see what you've built here is pretty amazing. Like, I'm proud of you. I really am. Like, this is really, really cool. And it's neat to see what you've done.
Well, like I said, there's been a lot of people that have helped me do a lot of things, and I could be here for hours just naming all the people that have helped me, putting in time and effort to do a lot of things here, from just getting the new shop built, concreting floors, and my brother-in-law for helping me do the inside, and just a lot of people that I'm great, and family and friends making it kind of happen, and just everyone for the support, because when you're young and kind of just running with your hair on fire, you don't really realize anything, but I'm extremely happy to have the support that I did.
It's great.
And I know you meant all the words that you just said about being proud and stuff.
Yeah.
They were legit.
Yeah.
He's still not going to let you drive a car.
I wasn't trying to better him.
Blane, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, we'd love for you to find out more about this sport. So watch this all the way through. We'll have some sprint racing information for you. So be sure to not miss that. And if you have an idea, we'd love to learn about your hobby, craft, or occupation. So send us an email. The address is morningshow@wgrc.com. That is morningshow@wgrc.com. And who knows, next time we may just see you
Around the valley.
All right. You want to race some? We got a van.